The video zooms out, showing the eye of a phoenix. The phoenix soars into the sky and spins. The words, "Man in Motion," are revealed. Hello everyone, my name is Bob Cole. I first want to thank Bold Blind Beauty for giving me the privilege, the opportunity, and the honor to serve as Man in Motion for the month of May 2024. Give a little bit of current background about myself. I work full-time as an assistive technology instructor for a California-based nonprofit and absolutely love my job. I'm involved with a wonderful woman. I wasn't looking for love. I was kind of done with it, and then it found me. I am also a full-time single dad of two very special boys who are blessings to me. They are now 12 and 14, but when I started that journey, they were only about 3 and 5. Boy, has time flown. I wasn't always at this place, though. I wasn't sure where to go with my story when I was given this opportunity, and it could be quite lengthy. People have told me that I should write a book, but my self-confidence just is not there yet. So let's just try the basics and see how this goes. I was born in a small Ohio town in 1984. I was born with a very rare congenital visual condition known as microphthalmia, which is a big word that essentially means that my eyes never fully developed. I was raised by a single mom who did the best that she could with myself and my other 3 siblings. I was the only sibling that was, like I like to say, the chosen one who had any form of visual impairment. There weren't a lot of resources back then, especially in a small Ohio town, but my mom did the best that she could. Unfortunately, throughout my childhood, there was a lot of dysfunction in the family. My father was very abusive, and he was an alcoholic. I heard that he was different before Vietnam, but I didn't get to know him like that. He passed away in 1990. A couple years after that, another man came into our lives, and unfortunately he was also an abusive alcoholic. There are different circumstances that take people to those places. I'm not going to judge, but it definitely causes trauma in the lives of others of whom paths cross with such individuals. Long story as far as childhood goes, but suffice it to say that it was unfortunately instilled in my mind that I would not amount to much because of my blindness. And my mom tried to instill some sense of positive, but the men in my life did not. As I grew older, my younger siblings and I were taken into foster care. That was a very painful situation in life, though I was surrounded with some wonderful people. I began attending a vocational school at the beginning of foster care, which was also at the beginning of my senior year, and I entered into the study of business and computer technologies and realized that I really loved computers. Graduated high school and began taking computer science courses at a local college. I married in 2004. Moved to California in 2007, completed my associate's degree in computer information systems. That's another lengthy story for another day. Suffice it to say, it took a lot longer than it should have, but I finished it. I'd like to complete a bachelor's down the road. In 2015, I began the journey as a single parent, and despite the blindness, it took my level of independence to an all-time high, as I had a choice to make. Either allow my kids to grow up in a box, or start taking them out to parks and things like that. We've had some amazing journeys. In 2019, we had the opportunity to climb some natural steps at a viewpoint at Arches National Park in Utah, as can be seen in this photo of my boys standing looking out at the delicate arch. We've had some awesome adventures over the years. My kids are my world. Unfortunately, I battled and still do battle with mental health, depression, and especially just the negative thoughts in my head that are often just a constant onslaught. In 2021, I was hired at my first formal job as an assistive technology instructor. I worked at the organization for 6 months and later left because it was very toxic, both to the staff and to the students of the particular center. I won't get into the details of that, but I had to do what I had to do for my mental health, and therefore I left. Last September, I was actually hired at a healthy organization as an assistive technology instructor. And I have to say, I absolutely love the job. I love getting to help individuals, and I love just hearing those aha moments when they realize that there's so much that technology can offer them. I independently study technology on a regular basis, not just assistive technology. My story is one that, something I should have addressed, came out of the ashes. So I'll address it now. In the background of this video, there's an AI-generated image from Meta AI of a black phoenix rising out of flame and ash. And the phoenix is something that has become very significant to me over the past couple of years. Because looking back through my life, there's been a lot of ash, a lot of destruction. Now, there is beauty in ashes. You just have to find it there. But the phoenix is a symbol of rebirth. It's a symbol of climbing up out of chaos and allowing yourself to soar into the sky. Now, thanks to having formal employment, I'm able to do things like, as you can see in this video, I am taking a mixed martial arts class with my 12-year-old son, and I've been doing so since last September. Never would I have thought that I would have gotten back into martial arts. I was studying Taekwondo when I was a teenager, and I eventually switched over to professional wrestling school, but I regret leaving the martial arts. I am currently getting ready to test for a gold belt, and my son and I are just both doing this together. It's an absolutely amazing experience. I ride bikes with my kids. Here in this video, you can see me riding a bike when my kids were younger. I don't have any current videos of me riding bikes, though I do go out and enjoy a good bike ride. Just have to work out a system so that I don't inadvertently run into something that I don't see there. My vision leaves my left eye absolutely useless. Doesn't even have perception of darkness. And my right eye offers me an acuity of 20/1000. So it's not much. It's like living in a colorful fog, the way I describe it to people. Life is an amazing thing. In my younger years, I unfortunately held quite a pessimistic perspective on life because it was drilled into my mind that there was not much that I'd be able to do. Slowly but surely, I'm seeing how wrong that is. Things that I was told that I couldn't do as a child because of lack of vision, I try to find ways to do now as an adult. Life is short, and the reality is, it's not the beginning at birth that is significant in the scheme of things, and it's not the end when we leave this world. It's about the middle, and it's about what we do in the middle that counts. The lives that we can impact that maybe no one else could. The effect of the ripple of choosing to go against the grain, and the amazing impact that that can have on the lives of others. Here is an image of my girlfriend Jessica and I at the ocean, one of my favorite places. I wasn't looking for love. I was done with relationships, and then our paths crossed. And I have the opportunity to get to know an amazing woman who is going through some pretty severe and, quite frankly, scary medical circumstances. But the time that I get to spend with her and the joy that she brings into my life and the lives of my kids, that outweighs anything. And the reality is, wherever you're at in your life right now, you might feel like you're down in those ashes too. But just know this, you don't have to stay there. Are there realistic limitations on life as a person with a disability? Yes. But life in and of itself is not the limiting factor. We find what we can do, and we do it to the best of our abilities. It's about coming up out of those ashes. The ashes of depression, the ashes of a bad childhood, the ashes of chaos, and soaring into the sky. Oh, and there's beauty in those ashes. And if you're in those ashes, just know that that beauty, that's you. And it's time to rise. And fly. There is so much more that I could elaborate on in regards to my story, the hopes and dreams that I have. I absolutely love my job, and I love the organization with which I work. However, I do live in California, and it is very expensive out here. Someday I hope to potentially start my own assistive technology training business to be able to better support my family. But if or until that time comes, I'm perfectly happy where I'm at, and I do my best to make things work to provide for my own. Again, it's not where you started at that makes the difference. It's what you do along the race. Regardless of the circumstances, I want to encourage anyone who is reading this or listening to this, wherever you're at, no matter how downtrodden you feel, even if you have to crawl inch by inch, don't stop. Keep going. As I said, I could add a lot more to this. I have recorded this Many times I have lost count, and I still feel like I don't have this right. But I'm going to leave you with this. There's a symbol in mathematics called the infinity symbol. It's essentially like a number 8 turned sideways. And in mathematics, this symbol, it means never ending. But I'd like to shed a different light on that. It's not just never ending. Because never ending, it's putting emphasis on the ending. When does it end? Never. But I'd like to look at it in this perspective of never stop. Yes, there's pain. Yes, there are tears. Yes, there are heartaches aplenty. But don't stop. Those are the words I've been telling myself for years, and I still tell myself to this day. Don't stop. I hope that this has been of some help to someone out there. And you're more than welcome to reach out to me if you'd like, if ever I can be of assistance. But regardless, thank you for your time and listening, and I wish you all the best in your endeavors.